Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed fight night. We have ourselves another OP08 match here. We got my boy Endeavor on the left-hand side, rocking out that black Luffy, as well as Yaya on the right with that Kalgara. Now, I do think these are going to be two very popular decks in the OP08 meta. Kalgara being a little less popular, I imagine, but nonetheless, a very popular yellow deck that we probably will see. So we're going to play the upper yard here, searching top 5 for a Shandian Warrior character or event card. Having a ton of different options here, but we are going to choose that 5 cost Wiper. Now what's really nice is that Wiper can actually get rid of the 1000 Sunny, which is pretty useful here. But quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is DXN Outpost DXN Provisions, the only place where I get all my sealed product. And guys, right now they have a ton of OP08 product online, so if you're interested in buying some 08, check out the link below. So this 8k swing going into Kalgara does end up connecting. We see the first trigger of the match here, which is a Shura, grabbing ourselves a very saucy card that you don't really see too often in Kalgara, which is that Zap event card, being able to remove a character on the board that is equal to the amount of cost as the same as the life in your opponents. Now that's very interesting card. I know that I said that very wrong, but we are going to go ahead and drop the Ohm here and then get the dog off the top 5. We always got the dog. So we are going to see a 5k swing going into life here. We're going to counter out of it with a dog in our own hand, and now we see the Sanji being able to KO that Ohm from the board, and the only reason why we're able to do that is because of the 1000 Sunny. So definitely coming in clutch here. You would need to have a Dawn attached to the Luffy leader in order to remove it, to make Sanji a 6 cost character. But like I said, we got the 1000 Sunny, but not for too long. We're going to use that leader ability here to take our own life, play out a Wiper, bottom deck the stage here, and then grab the Earth Will Not Lose event card. Now the 7k swing does end up connecting, dropping Endeavor down to 4 life, and we can still swing with the dog, so we might see a big 7k or possibly 5k, and yes, we're going to see a 7k swing connecting once again. Endeavor already dropping down to 3 life. Kalgara doing exactly what it likes to do, which is be very aggressive. We have 2 Dawn active. We know that Kalgara runs a ton of defensive event cards, so we're going to go ahead and see if that comes into play here. 6k swing going into the dog. We're going to see a 2k counter, 5k swing possibly into the dog. And do we have the counter? Yes, we do. We have the 3k counter, playing out the upper yard off of its second effect here, and then searching top 5 for a Shandian Warrior. And yes, we find the Kalgara character. Now this is a 6 cost 8k power vanilla, which is extremely good in this deck. Unfortunately, you can only run 4, and it's the only 4 Kalgara in your whole entire deck. Which becomes a little bit of an issue when you're playing cards like Noland. But besides the point here, we're going to go ahead and play out the 4 cost Kuzan to draw ourselves a card, playing out that brand new to grab an Ice Age, and then we're going to pass the turn. A lot of these black decks are currently running 4 of Ice Ages, which is a very big issue if you're not running a black deck, because it's pretty much being able to remove anything on the board. It's just really unfortunate for pretty much everything right now. But we do have Yaya here. We have quite a board here. The question is, are we going to commit Dawn here to try to get rid of the Sanji, or are we just going face because it's the place to be? But it looks like we're going to swing 8k into Sanji. Yeah, 8k into Sanji, and we're going to actually let it go here. Not too bad. Looking pretty good here for Yaya. And I imagine we're going to see that 6 cost Kalgara coming down. Being able to just drop a 6 cost for 1 Dawn is pretty good, but this 5k swing does end up being countered out of it with the Robin. We see a 7k swing going into life. We're going to use leader ability here, play out the 6 cost, grab our own life, and yes, Endeavor does end up taking here, tapping 5 for a Nolan, being able to recover a card here only because there is a Kalgara character on the board. Very good combo here. That's like probably the best combo you can do on that turn, so not too bad here. And now Endeavor is in a difficult position. Look at the board that Yaya currently has. Just being able to just go very aggressive, play out a whole bunch of bodies. But we're going to start things off with an easy 5k swing going into the dog here. -4 cost on the 6 cost Kalgara, making it a 2 cost. And we're going to see exactly here what Endeavor can do. We're going to counter out of it with a 2k counter. Giving him a 2k for the 5k swing is pretty good. We're going to see the Jack coming down here. Jack, we're going to rest Jack to draw a card, trash a card, and then KO the Kalgara, attaching 2 Dawn onto this Luffy, becoming in a 6k leader. Now this is an 8k swing going into the dog, and yes, if fine does go down, leaving the Wiper up just because we know he probably has a 2k counter. Odds are better if we swing 8k into 5, so obviously it does end up connecting here. And now with this Wiper, are we gonna swing 7 into Kuzan? I imagine we probably just do so, but no, we're swinging 9 into 5 here, and that is a huge attack. It would require Endeavor 3 cards out of hand, so yeah, just saying I really need to get rid of this card. It definitely is an issue, and 9 into 5 is gonna pretty much guarantee that. Now, that just means here, I imagine, yeah, it's just going to go ahead and let that Jack live. We could have attached 2 Dawn onto the Wiper here to try to get rid of Jack, because we could have swung the rest of the characters into Kuzan, so I imagine we're just going to go face here for the rest of this turn. But Shura grabbing ourselves a card off the top 5, of course a Sky Island, and it looks like we might grab Satori, possibly a 2k counter. But we are going to grab the 0 cost event card. A fantastic card in yellow, man. That card is so good. So it looks like we do have 7 active Dawn here. We're going to tap 2 for that Zap event card, but unfortunately, brand new is a 3 cost character because of that Luffy. Endeavor letting him take it back just because this is locals, not a regional. So we are still testing this as a brand new meta. So we're going to take that back. We still have, I think, 6 Dawn here. Yeah, so we're swinging 6k into life. Are we going to use the leader ability? Yes, we are. We're going to take our own life. We're going to bomb deck our upper yard, searching top 5 here for a Shining Warrior. And we do find another upper yard, which is quite nice, but we might be looking for some counter or possibly this Kalgara. Now, we could play this next turn, or we can just keep it in hand for some counter, like I did mention before here. And now with 4 active Dawn, we have a couple different 5 active Dawn, I'm sorry, 5 active Dawn. We have a couple different plays here, but we're swinging a big 11k into Jack, and this is going to require 2 2ks, which we gladly give him just because Jack is such a good card. Being able to cycle once a turn plus remove a body is very, very good here. The question is, does Endeavor have the reduction? That's the biggest question. Now, Endeavor is at 10 Dawn, which is very good here. Attaching 1 Dawn to our leader makes him a 6k leader, so this is currently a 7k leader with that 1 Dawn attached to him. Now we might see a 7k swing going until Nolan, but if we look at his hand, that is a massive hand. So we're going to Ice Age actually the 5 cost, tapping Jack here to KO that character. We're going to draw 1, trash 1, trashing that Isho, and now we're swinging a big 7k into Nolan, and I imagine we just give him an easy 2k counter. We want to keep our characters alive, especially with this kind of deck. And Kalgara has, Black Luffy has so many ways to get rid of the board here. So yes, we're going to give him a Satori. We're going to tap 8 here for a Gecko Moria, and hopefully we have a pretty big play here. We're going to grab the Rebecca, unfortunately not grabbing anything else out of the trash, but it looks like we might just go ahead and grab ourselves maybe some counter, maybe a Sabo, something to plan out for the following turn. We only have currently 4 cards in our hand, so we are kind of threading a very aggressive turn coming in here from Yaya, and it looks like we might grab a 2k counter. And it looks like Endeavor is going to grab a 2k counter, which is that Tashigi, and then we're probably just going to pass the turn. We've already attacked, and yes, we're going to pass the turn here. But actually, hold on. My man Endeavor playing out the Brook, not being able to remove anything, just playing it out. It also does act as a pseudo blocker, technically speaking. Leaving Brook out on the board plus Jack is pretty threatening, so I totally understand. 7k swing going into life, which is a 6k leader, and gonna give him the easy 2k counter, which is at Tashigi, which we did grab off of that Rebecca. Now, unfortunately here for Yaya, Rebecca's a 5 cost character, so if we have cards like Amaru or you're unable to rest Rebecca. So that is extremely unfortunate here. Wiper doing a fantastic job getting rid of those pesky Sunny stage cards is actually pretty good, especially in this matchup. So it looks like Ye is kind of deciding here how he wants to play out this turn. We're going to swing possibly an easy 6k into life here. We could also swing 6 into the Brook being a 4k power character. If he really wants to just kind of get rid of it, I think 6k going into Brook, I don't think he actually protected, and even if he does, he's not going to give us 2 cards out of it. So it looks like we might see that coming in here. Yeah, just making a difficult decision here, exactly what he wants to do. And of course he does still have 10 Dawn, so he does of course have a ton of different plays that he can actually do, and kind of just trying to figure it out here. It looks like we're swinging 4 into 4, and yes, Endeavor does end up letting it go. Interesting to giving him a swing off of that. It's pretty good. So 6k swing going into life. Are we committing a Dawn? Yes, we are. 7k swing going into life. We're going to give him a 2k counter. And then we see another 7k swing playing out the Kalgara to grab our own life. And yes, it does actually end up connecting here. Very interesting. And then we're going to tap 5 for that Nolan to recover the life that we just actually took off of that leader ability. So not too bad. Setting ourselves up for next turn. Now, the only unfortunate thing is that we have Jack on the board. I'm going to keep saying it. Jack is a good card. So starting things off with a 4-cost Kuzan to draw ourselves a card, being a very dead card in hand currently. Luckily for that Jack, we're able to cycle, so even if we had 2, we can actually pitch it. We're going to Ice Age the Kalgara, and then using Jack ability, we're going to pop the 6-cost. We're going to go ahead and swing possibly a big 9 into life or that Wiper, but it looks like we're going to swing 9 into the Nolan here, swinging 7k into Wiper is what it looks like. And are we going to go ahead and give it to him? This is a 1k counter out of hand, or we could be going for life, which we do end up doing so. And now we're going to tap 4 here for that Rebecca to grab ourselves a Sabo out of the trash, and then we're going to pass the turn. So we have 2 blockers plus a life, both blockers being essentially unremovable, and we currently have at most 3 attackers, 1 leader, 2 characters. At best we have ace in our hand, so either Endeavor has to have a ton of brick, which we know he has at least 1k counter, so this AK swing might get blocked here, since that does take us 2 cards out of our hand, and Endeavor currently has 3 cards in our hand. So 3 cards in Endeavor's hand. We have 1 blocker up. We technically have 2 attacks left still. And it looks like we're going to swing an easy 7k into life. This is an easy 2k counter, which we do end up giving him, which is that T-bone. And now we see a 7k swing going into life. Once again, we need another 2k counter, or we could block this, or we could take our own life. We still aren't being that threatened since we do have that Rebecca, so it's pretty safe to take, it's pretty safe to block. It really all depends here. And it looks like Endeavor might just end up taking his last life. Yep, taking his own life, dropping down to 0 life, and now we see the ace here, 7k swing, which does end up being blocked, and we're going to go ahead and pass the turn, leaving a 1 Dawn active. Unfortunately, that Zap event card not doing too much for this game because of those beefy characters. But yeah, we're going to see a 9k swing going into life here. And we're going to go ahead and give him the Earth Will Not Lose. That's a 3k counter plus a Wiper, giving him a total of 5k power, 5k counter. And now we see a 7k swing. We're going to give him the 0 cost event card. And now we see a 9k swing with that Jack here. And yes, we are going to take it here. And now we see a big 14k into life. And yes, Endeavor does end up taking it. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel. I really do appreciate it. And stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP08 content coming out soon. See ya.